Hey everyone, we're trying to go live here. Oh, awesome. I'm live now. Hi everyone. Welcome to my live chat tonight. We're going to talk about quantum dating. I had so many questions today on my website. I did a little poll about quantum dating, if people had any questions or concerns about it, and I got so many. Can everybody hear me okay? Someone had once wrote, they said, oh, that microphone, I can't watch this video. That microphone at the whole time distracted me, but I want you to hear me. So can everybody hear me okay? Thumbs up. So we're going to talk about quantum dating. We're going to talk about what it is, why you need it, and I'm going to answer all your questions. Everyone asked. I had over 57 comments on this with so many good questions. So hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining tonight. Everybody can hear me? Very good. So I first want to start off by taking a little sip of my coffee. It's still allergy season here in North Carolina. So I want to talk a little bit about what quantum dating is, like what the purpose of quantum dating is. Now, I teach quantum dating in all of my courses, and it's basically a way that I've used some tools that I got passed down, but I changed this because when I was dating, I ran into a big pitfall with how I was taught to date as a coach. And I'm going to talk about that because when you get of a certain age into your 30s, into your 40s, and beyond, the men you're meeting have been divorced. They're on maybe their second or third marriage, and they don't really want you to be dating other men while you're dating them. And I think there is a time and a place where you give a guy a chance and you invest a few months in him just to see where it goes. And we're going to talk about that in this live cast tonight. So a lot of men get confused. A woman wrote me today and she goes, how can a man ever trust me if I'm just passing on men and I'm dating all these men? I really want a man that's going to, I need to show a man I'm going to stick around. Well, here's the thing. The thing about quantum dating is that you're actually dating. I encourage you to date at least 5 men. And dating doesn't mean you're having intimate, deep, meaningful, serious relationships with all of these men. It means you're dating. And learning how to date is a very powerful thing to learn how to do, to not be incredibly focused on just one man and an outcome. And, mom, all my girlfriends, I've met the guy I want to spend my life with. Dating is about just having this relaxed relationship with someone where you're seeing where things go. Okay, that's part of dating. So men will not like that you're quantum dating. Men will be a little mad about it if they find out. We're going to talk tonight about what to do if a man asks you, are you dating other guys? We're going to talk about when you want to stop dating other men and just date that one man, you see. But quantum dating, I suggest having 5. Now, quantum dating, again, it keeps you from getting overinvested in one man, which keeps you from being neurotic. It keeps your vibe healthy. You're free. No one owns you. And you're keeping your life rich, full, and juicy and alive with possibilities. You're not all in with just one man. So quantum dating is a way to avoid falling into the girlfriend trap, which can happen literally for years. You can become a girlfriend and stay stuck in that position for years. Quantum dating is a way for you to get commitment that leads to marriage or ceremony. If you don't want to be married, you just want to have a ceremony, but it leads to commitment. There's also no harm in wanting to be married. Own it. A lot of women think that if I want to get married, no man is going to have anything to do with me. And that's just not true. A man will absolutely see you as a high quality woman, a woman that he can invest in and have more time and quality relationship with you if you do want to get married. Don't get me wrong. There's some guys out there that'll laugh at you because you want to be married. My husband laughed at me. When I was dating him and I told him I wanted to be a wife, he said, oh, well, I don't want to be a husband. That's not going to happen with us. And I said, okay, I think we're on different pages now. I'm going to be moving on. And 3 months later, he came knocking at my door. So let's start at the top with commitment. And hi, everybody. I'm so happy you're all joining in chat. Um, Commitment means this. Men want you to commit quickly. They will go on 2, 3 dates with you and they'll say, I took down my dating profile. Or you'll go on a handful of dates with them and you will take down your dating profile because you're afraid that you're going to make him mad or that he's going to think that you are a promiscuous woman or something like this. We get some sort of fearful thought. Now, if you don't get a fearful thought, you're one of the few that doesn't. But most women get scared. You commit quickly to the man, you become girlfriend, you go all in, you cut off all other sources to you. Then 2 to 4 months, things slow down, which they will naturally. They slow down, they sometimes fizzle out. You finally get around to telling the man you want to be a wife one day. You finally get around to telling him where you see things going. And he says, oh man, you got me all wrong. Or he disappears, or he creates a problem or a situation. How many of you have experienced this? Where when you finally come to the guy and goes, what's really happening with us? Are we, I want to be a wife one day, or you want to tell them that you want more, you want to be committed, and they disappear, or they tell you that's not really what I want. Meanwhile, you're not going to get these months back. You're not going to get these years back. So many of you are saying, yes, this has happened to me. Absolutely. And it's devastating when it happens. You realize that this person that you have been in love with for so many months and devoted with and buying their nieces and nephews graduation gifts and going to all these parties and meeting all his family, he doesn't want to be married ever. You see, that's the girlfriend trap. Someone said it just happened to me recently. That is the trap that quantum dating secures you from. Now, nothing is foolproof, but I'm going to talk about that more. Quantum dating, you have 5 men in your rotation. You're always going to have your main guy. You're always going to have one guy that you like better than all the other guys. And he is probably going to be the one that is the least showing up and coming through. That's just how it works. We want the guy we can't have. You will have a second runner-up who is just all about seeing you. He's all about there, but you're not going to like how he smells. You're not going to like something about him, but he's going to still be showing up. And he doesn't disgust you. He doesn't make you want to puke or anything. There's just something about him. You're just not totally into it, but keep dating him. I'll tell you why. You have guy number 3. Guy number 3 is somewhere in here. He's some mixture of this. He might be the one that's like amazing in bed or something like that. Not that you're sleeping with all 5 of these guys. That's your business, but I'm going to advise you on that too. Or he is an incredible kisser, or he's the one that has like, he wines you and dines you and wants to take you on all these trips, but you're just not feeling connected to him because you got this guy on your mind all the time, you see. Then you have these other 2 men here on the corners. These 2 guys are just new men that you let in, that you you go on coffee dates with. They're constantly changing, you see. You might date a guy for coffee and, lunch 2-3 times, never see him again. And then a new guy sprouts up, you see. You want those guys moving around. But these 3 guys you date really regularly until one of them makes an offer to claim you. Now, if you realize that it's not going anywhere with this man and you just are ready to pass, you can tell him this. At any time, you can say, you have been great company, but I'm going to be moving on. And you can just let that man know, just repeat that over and over and over to him. I got to message my husband real quick to tell him to turn on the air conditioner. I don't know why it turned off, but it did. And I'm like roasting in this room. Okay. So I'm just going to pause there for a second and look at a couple of questions. Mayet said he wanted to be exclusive, but I felt he's not as serious as what he said. Can I still go and date? Well, yeah, if you're not exclusive with a man, you're free to do whatever you want to do anyway. And Viv says, what you're describing is what I'm doing right now. And another woman said, Kim said, I've experienced this, but he wants it to last forever, but he's acting distant. Yes, He's saying one thing and he's doing another thing. This is where we talk about how words don't mean a thing. Words just do not matter. You're looking for actions with a man. A man can say any words to you, and they will. They'll say all sorts of words, and it doesn't mean they're a bad guy. It's what they do. So don't worry about that. So I covered some of the basics here. I'm going to go into Facebook. I have a group called I Heart Love Academy. It's a totally free group. You can join. I pop in there at least once or twice a day, and I talk to women about their relationship problems. Sometimes I answer their questions. And feel free to join I Heart Love Academy over on Facebook. But also my YouTube community is wonderful too. I'm glad you're all here tonight. Thank you again. Okay, so going on. Someone said, I don't want to lead a man on. It feels like I'd be using him if I go out for just coffee, but knowing in advance I'm not into him. I hear this one a lot. You can't even go out on coffee with what I call the non-applicable man. The non-applicable man shows up in your feed, in your dating feed, and you're not like, oh my God, this is the guy. You don't feel that way. Because here's the thing. If you do feel that way about a guy, I can almost promise you it's not going to work out. There is a trigger that is familiar that will repeat itself in your life, that the men that you go gaga for on a profile that you have not even met yet, that you may never meet, if they're not contacting you first, you're going to contact them and you're going to start pushing your energy on them. So that expectation that, oh, I just met this guy, that happened in your teens and your early 20s. And it might even kind of happen now. But back then, that made total sense. Your hormones were going like crazy, and that's how you felt about people. That same feeling does not equal, this is a man who's going to love me and take care of me and have my back for life into the sunset when I'm a little old lady and I can't get up from my chair. That's what we're looking for, you see. You're looking for someone who is going to love you and take care of you, and he often shows up as the non-applicable man. Now, worst case scenario, he's a non-applicable man. You go on a date with him and you get some really good practice. He triggers something in you that needed to be triggered so you could learn and grow and move up a tier. You move up tiers and become higher and higher and higher on your pedestal, and you vibrate at a higher frequency that more and more quality men begin to notice you, the more practice you have. And I don't want you to be married one day and have to practice on your husband. I want you to know all these tricks, all these tips, all these tools. So when your husband shows up, you can have happily ever after. That's what I have with my husband. I've already learned it all. Don't get me wrong. He's thrown me a few curveballs and I've had to go back in and practice my tools. But I know it. You see, I'm well practiced. So are you leading a man on having coffee with him, even though based on his photo and a little bit of what he's written, you know he's not right for you? Get over that part that I have to be able to read a profile and see a photo to know that someone is right for me. You won't. You may not know someone's right for you for months, especially if you are into your 30s and your 40s now and on up. It's going to take a while for a man to show you what he's really made of. So go on a date. There's not a man out there who's like, darn it, I had to spend half an hour with an attractive woman having coffee. I spent $7. It doesn't exist. You're not leading a guy on. That's masculine guilt. Masculine guilt has convinced you that you can't go have coffee with someone that you're not absolutely totally sure you want to spend the rest of your life with. That's masculine guilt talking. Feminine energy says, yeah, I'm curious about you. Yeah, you're not exactly what I'm looking for. You don't have all the qualities I'm looking for, but I'm curious about you. I want to see what you're about. I just want to see what you maybe smell like. I want to see if you love your mother. I want to know if you volunteer. I want to see you up close in person. I went on the first date with my husband, the man who became my husband. I didn't even know what he looked like. I had been communicating with him for so long, which I don't recommend you do, but we had become like pen pals. I was so not invested that we had become like pen pals. And the night I met him, I didn't really even know what he looked like. I knew he must have not been too terrible because I kept talking to him somehow. He also ended up in my spam box because he was older than what I was looking for. I almost deleted him. But we all know how this ended in a happily ever after. And we're happily married. So don't worry about leading a man on. Leading a man on is a myth. Anybody who has the energy to continue to date a man they have no interest in is doing something different than that, you see, than what you're doing. You're just meeting for coffee and practicing. All right. Someone said, did I see his pictures? If I did, I didn't remember them. I had no recollection. I did not know who I was going to meet. But when I pulled up and I saw him, I was like, whoa, this guy is cute. But I want to tell you, I do remember one photo of his. I just knew there was maybe something wrong with a tooth. And I was like, ew, I don't want that. I want somebody to have pretty teeth. And a good friend of mine said, a guy friend of mine, he said, we all have a bad tooth, Adrienne. We all have a bad tooth, and we do. Everybody does. And this is where you love someone for who they are, not all these little things. I have to have this perfect person. You see what I mean? And you know what it was? My husband has a baby tooth in his mouth. And I blame that baby tooth on all of my problems I have with him. He's still a little bit of a baby in there. All right. So moving on. What do I do if a man asks if I'm going on dates with other men and I give them the truth? They seem so bothered by me going on multiple dates. How do I handle that? Also, is it okay to go on dates with a man I'm not attracted to since I wouldn't like to waste his time? You hear how much this one comes up? In a matter of quantum dating, feminine energy, it's okay to meet casually, but am I wasting his time, which makes me feel like I'm wasting my energy? Again, you're not wasting anyone's time. Now, if you're on, second or third date with this guy and you're just not feeling that connection, then pass. But I encourage you, if the man is treating you good, he's treating you right, he's pursuing you, give it a chance. Give it a couple of dates. Because this, I guess it's like a little bit of a stigma or this thing that's got you believing I have to feel this way to keep going. That's not true. Some of the greatest things I've done in my life, I have not been 100% all in from day one, including meeting my husband. I still wasn't sure. I had been dating him for a year before I finally got very sure. It takes time. You're older now. Okay? You're older now. So guys get mad when they find out you are going on multiple dates. Oh, yes, they do. Because you're part of the masculine world. You've been brought up in the masculine energy mindset that we shouldn't do things like that. We should just be one guy. I'm going to go on a date with you and I'm going to date you until you don't want me anymore. Or I don't want you anymore. And then I'm going to go to the next guy. And we wonder why we're 47 and we've never been married yet. You see. So quantum dating takes care of this. What you do let the man know is, number one, really, really get him. Oh, I feel, you must feel really confused about that, or you must feel really upset. Really, really get him. Understand what he's feeling. Yet, I want to be a wife one day. I don't want to be a girlfriend. I was a girlfriend all in my 20s. I want to be a wife. And, I want to keep my options open until the right guy comes along or until there's an offer on the table. The guy will then tell you, no man is going to date you as long as you're dating other men. I almost said other women. Other men. He'll say, no man is going to date you as long as you're dating lots of other men. And you can say, well, okay, I understand. He might say, are you sleeping with all of these men? The questions will continue. Well, no. Now, I'm going to talk to you about sleeping with multiple men. I don't encourage that. You can be sexually exclusive with one man, and it makes it a little more complicated. Or you can have your boy toy, and you can date all of these men without feeling frustrated to have sex with one. I believe that after about 3 months of dating a man, you're going to know. You're going to know. And he will, again, address being committed with you. You can always say, I feel so flattered and this feels amazing. I just want to see where things go for a little while. I need a little time. That's all you have to say. You don't have to explain about how I have this coach online and she told me to quantum date. You don't have to do anything like that. Just, I need a little more time. I'm so flattered. See what he does. If he's still picking you up right on time, he's making dates in advance with you, if he's still showing up and he again wants to talk about commitment, you can say, okay, I think I'd like to give it a try. All right. Now that goes against a lot of the other dating coaches out there that teach a similar thing. I'm saying yes, if he's been showing up consecutively for about 3 months, go ahead and say, yeah, okay, I want to see where this goes. Then I want you to take out your Google Calendar and I want you to write started, committed to this guy on this date, and go 3 months or 2 months from there. Try 2 months. And at the 2 month mark, I want you to check in with him and say, where do you see us going? The past 2 months have felt amazing. Where do you see us going? And then you let him answer you. So at that point, committed, you've only invested 2 months. Or after that 2 months, he knows he's got you, he slept with you, you're committed to him, he starts to slack off, hardly ever call you, starts to ignore you. You revisit the terms and conditions. And that is where you say, I've noticed, it feels so great that we're committed. This feels really wonderful, but I've noticed we're not really going on dates anymore. And I'm curious how you feel. You see how you can address this now? Does this make sense? You see? But yeah, the guy will get mad and let him know. Just go, well, okay, it must feel really frustrating. Yet I want to be a wife one day. And I'm not ready yet. I don't want to commit to someone until there's an offer on the table. I want to be a wife. I don't want to be a girlfriend. When you can really speak from this place in your heart, the man will listen and he won't like it, but he'll get it. Ladies, let me tell you what, men are quantum dating all the time. They're quantum dating all the time. There's always some other woman that they're talking to, they're flirting with, they're staying open and available to on the chance that that person may enter their life or that person just maybe makes them feel good. You have to understand that interactions with women for men feels good. You see, it feels good. So someone's question just got flagged. It says, what man will wait 3 months to have sex? I don't know. I'm not talking about having sex. You can have sex with a man whenever you want to. You can have sex with him on the first date. I don't recommend it. I recommend you wait, but you can have sex with a man whenever you want to. You can try him out. Sex doesn't mean committed relationship. It could mean a sexually exclusive relationship where I'm just having sex with this guy. He could be your number one guy. He might be the number 3 guy that you're having regular sex with. You're not having sex with anybody else, but you're keeping your options open. You see? Someone said, how long do you keep a guy in rotation? Until you don't like him anymore. Until you're absolutely sure, I have tried, I have practiced, I've really experimented with liking him, I'm just not feeling it. You'll know. But please give him a chance. If he's a good guy and he's showing up and he's pursuing you and he's investing in you, give it a little chance. Remember, it's not going to feel like it felt in your 20s or your teens. That feeling was an illusion because it didn't get you very far, did it? It's an illusion. You are looking for a man who is showing up, investing with actions, not with words, that he's there for you. Okay? Someone on my group wrote, I really enjoy quantum dating. My phone isn't silent anymore. But my concern is that I have ended up dating 2 guys I really like. What if one of them finally asks to be exclusive? How do I break things off with the other guy in a nice way? You get my book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. I have tons of scripts in there for every situation you possibly can ever experience with a man. Once in a while, someone will write me and say, well, you don't have this in there. And I'm like, no, yeah, I do. You're just not taking it out of context, So you let the man know, you've been great company. I don't feel like we are a match. And if he says, did you meet somebody else? I feel really uncomfortable answering that. You have been amazing company. I just don't feel like we're a match. Okay. Someone said, I have joint custody, so I have my daughter every other week. I don't want to date on the week I have her, and I live in a small town. Like you blink, you'll miss it. So already she's got an excuse that she's in some small town. Get that energy out of you now. Turn that sentence around to, I may live in a small town, but I'm meeting new men every day. New men are coming around me every day. Put that into your energy. I want you to flip that thought around. So I have to go to bigger towns close to me to meet for dates. That's excellent. Not to stress myself out, I prefer to do one date a day. The guy seems to get frustrated with the limited days to go on dates and the fact that I'm dating other guys and my schedule gets full fast. Too bad, so sad. You let the guy know, oh my goodness, you must feel so frustrated. What can I say? I'm doing the best I can. Now, if you really like the guy and you don't like the other guy, go out with the guy you like. But coffee dates, ladies, I'm telling you, I have 45 minutes on Saturday. Helena Hart and I both used to get up and on a Saturday morning and we would each go on 3 dates back to back. I would stagger mine like for kind of morning coffee and then around noon, and then I'd meet somebody for an appetizer and like a glass of wine. And they were quick dates. And I would practice and then I'd come home and I wouldn't feel all like, oh, that date went nowhere. I wouldn't feel bad and things like this. So basically what you're saying is guys are kind of bossing you around. They're kind of strong arming you a little bit into feeling bad about your choices. So this is masculine guilt. Masculine guilt makes you feel guilty for the choices you're making, when really it's what feels right to you. She wants to date them more, so you just let them know, I'm not sure how I feel. I feel flattered you want to spend more time with me. I just don't know how I feel. You see, that's all you have to say. Let's see here. Yeah, someone said, I don't appreciate being pressured. Don't say that. Don't say that to them. And why do they do that? Because they're men and they're used to getting it their way. Again, how many thousands of years have we been living in a masculine energy mindset? Just now it's starting to shift a little bit into feminine energy mindsets. We've got, hashtag me too. We have things like this that we've never had before. We have women in foreign lands getting liberated. We have more women on this planet who are college educated than men. We have more women on this planet than men. We have more women who are small business owners than ever before. The world is changing. You practicing this with me is part of that change. Okay? Sandra said her problem with quantum dating is that her head can't follow and remember what I said to whom, and I don't like to date for the practice. Well, I can't help you with liking to date for practice or not. The truth is nobody really wants to date. No one does. We do it because we want to be a wife one day and we want to have a loving, committed relationship with someone. When you can look at it with curiosity, like I'm curious who I'm going to be in 3 months from now. I'm curious how I'm changing. I'm curious about this man I'm going to meet. What is the message this man is going to bring to me? How's he going to challenge me? In what ways am I going to grow and unfold and get that much closer for my husband to show up? You see, your husband is out there and he's vibrating right now at a different frequency than you, I believe, energetically. And you guys have to align. You have to align. You want that high quality man that's way up here, but yet you don't want to do the work on yourself. You don't want to invest in yourself and really learn how to speak to a man from your body, how to feel high quality. That man's not going to see you, you see. So you got to get the practice and feel good about yourself, learn how to love all parts of yourself. What better way to do that than be challenged with a live human being sitting right in front of you who wants to date you and possibly have sex with you? It's a great way to learn. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to learn. Okay. Oh, and also, if you get one of my programs like Fem Tools, Dating Unzipped that I did with Helena Hart, or ABCs to Get Him, or New Man Manifesto, I have a dating tracker where you actually write down the man's name, write down how he triggered you, write down how you felt before the date, write down how you felt after the date, write down what you think this man brought you. Was he mirroring back something, some quality about you that he has and he was mirroring it back to you? Was he bringing you a message? You know, what did he say to you? How did he trigger you? It's kind of strange to think about that we really want guys to trigger us, but we do. That is what connects you to. That's what opens your heart up and gets you two connected. It's not like, hi, I show up for a date. This is my pretend version of who I want you to believe I am. Because when you get married to me, I'm going to be just like this. No, you're not. It's going to get real. So let it get real quickly. You see, become real very quick with a person. You do that by unzipping your heart, being vulnerable, putting your fears out there, telling a guy, well, yeah, on the first date, I want to be married. I've been married once before. I want to get married again. And see what he does. This is all part of it. You see how fun this can be? I don't miss dating. I love that I'm married. But when I did do it, I would have fun with it, just like this. And guys liked it too. They would tell me that I was the best date they had had in months, and they would want to date me again. Someone said, how did you get a guy in your rotation to step up more and pursue you more? How do you get him to do that? The best chances to make this happen is, you do not want to put a spell on this man. You do not want to manipulate this man. You do not want to use your power for evil. You want to use it for good. But the best way is to just really authentically be who you are. Unzip your heart, show up and be who you really are. Hide nothing. Now, I don't want to tell you to tell him every miserable thought that you have in your head or every terrible thing that's happened to you today. I want you to practice connecting your heart to his. And most people, unfortunately, we do connect to one another through our pain stories. I want you to shift that up. I want you to become this light, breath of fresh air into his life, this barefoot running in the park girl. That is what a man wants. That's what he wants. Someone said, how do I stop being nervous around the guy I like? Tell him every time I get around you, I feel so nervous. I feel so nervous right now. I feel so nervous. I could be pouring buckets of water from my underarms right now. Tell him. Have a laugh about it. If you tell him and you laugh about it, that problem will go away. Laughter is a cure for nervousness. Okay, let's see what else we have here. And, in this, feed, women are going, I suck at it. I suck at this. Please turn those words around. Please turn them around and say, I'm getting better at this. I'm trying. I'm willing to try. I'm willing to try something new. Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. Make that your mantra. Doesn't that feel good just hearing me say that? Don't you get a little light in your body? You see, instead of beating ourselves down. Okay, let's see. Then these two women in the group started having their own conversation. I'm sorry. Let me get back to it. So we've talked about, someone said, I want to know how to back off so no hurt feelings. I've talked about how to address this. You've been great company. I don't feel like we're a match. Okay, Tiffany asked a good question. I'm very introverted, and with chronic illness, my energy gets drained very quickly and easily. Having too many people in my life all at once makes me feel drained and can honestly cause me to end up in the hospital. Plus, I like what Sandra said about not being able to follow and remember what they said and to whom. You're making excuses. You're making a ton of excuses, and you're focusing on your illnesses, and you're focusing on all your limitations, and you're using those as excuses. I had a chronic black eye while I was dating. I'm still going through corrective eye surgeries. Helena could not walk. Helena had a very serious health issue. I have chronic autoimmune conditions. We did it. I was dead broke. I didn't even have a job. I was sewing my clothes to keep them together and keep them looking nice. I didn't have any of the latest fashions. I had been unemployed for 2 years. My husband and I had finally divorced. I got no alimony. I was on, you know, I was in a bad spot. I was in a really, really bad spot. I brought life to people's lives. And I started with myself. If I wasn't going to pick myself up, if I wasn't going to take care of myself and make my life rich, full, and juicy however I could, no man was going to be able to do it for me, and no man would see my light, you see. So, what did I do? I started taking art classes online through YouTube. I would do yoga through YouTube. I would exercise through YouTube. I would walk and join walking groups that were free. I made friends where I could. I did what I could afford. I put my life together. And even though I was tired and I was suffering from illness and things like that, I felt better once I stopped focusing on all the things that were wrong in my life. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, stop going to your doctor and stop taking your medicine, just focus on what feels good. No, but that's a huge component to this. Quantum dating is a very small amount of time. It can take one day to go on 3 dates, and you still have many, many hours left in the day. Instead of getting dressed up 5 days a week, get dressed up one day a week. On Saturday, go have 3 dates. You see how easy this can be? So I'm sorry you have these problems and you're a big pleaser, she says. Another person says, this is about you and it is for you. And men enjoy spending time with a woman. So just let go of these excuses. Stop making excuses in your life about why this won't work with you. Someone said, my concern is that I will never want to be exclusive with anyone. Having a few high quality men I like to date and fun, plus so much more to meet and get to know them, why would I want to be with only one? How about when you get to that situation, you check in with me? How about when that situation manifests in your life that you're like, I have all these high quality men and they're all asking me to marry them and I don't want just one. When that happens to you, why don't you let me know? Check in with me then, because I think it could happen, but I think your heart will know. There's one thing is that a woman always knows. She always knows when to leave a man, and she always knows when this is the guy for me. Someone said a good question. What if you fall in love with multiple ones? That can absolutely happen. Be in love with them. Be in love with them. I was in love with multiple men several times throughout my life. And you actually end up with a man that has the qualities of all of those men. That is a secret sauce into New Man Manifesto. That's part of New Man Manifesto, one of my programs I teach, which is you take all of these qualities from boyfriends that you had or partners you had, and you weave them into one man, and you will be very surprised with what you get. It's amazing how it works. Worked that way for me, and it's worked that way with many of my clients, where they focus on those positive qualities they had with an ex that they loved very, very much. Instead of focusing on what you missed out on, that you're never going to have that again, put it back into your life and create that new man. You see, you'll be surprised what you get. You'll always get something better than what you intended. And then a bunch of people asked if I was going live. One woman said, I've never dated more than one guy at a time, but when I try and tell guys I'm dating, they take it as I'm taken and they back off. This may be because I'm not following I'm dating up with anything else. When they stop pursuing, I let it be. Okay, here's the thing. You don't have to tell a man that you're dating other guys until he asks. You don't have to announce it and let him know that you're dating other people. You see, at some point he will say, did I see you out the other night? Or he'll sense it that there are other men sniffing around. And that's when, it is a tough conversation to have. I'm not going to lie. It's a tough conversation to have when that man tells you, are you dating someone else? And you say, yeah. I was meeting someone for coffee. Yeah. And he just gets mad, and you sit there and you listen and he lectures you about how that's it, it's over, I'm never seeing you again, and you feel like it's the end of the world because the guy you like is about to walk out on you because he's just found out you're quantum dating, I want you to sit there and listen. And that's when you are vulnerable and you say, "Oh my goodness, I didn't intend to hurt you in any way. We never talked about commitment. We never talked about this. This is the first I'm hearing that you want to be exclusive with me. And this is what it looks like to me." You see what I mean? You can be vulnerable with that person and say, "Okay, you want to leave. Okay, accept his no. Yet, I want to be a wife. I want to be a wife one day. And I've dated a lot in my 20s, and I got married, got divorced, or I dated a lot in my 20s and I've never gotten married, and I want to be a wife, and so I'm keeping my options open until there's an offer on the table." Does that make sense, y'all? I hope so. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm going to take just two questions from you here in live. So if any of you have any questions you want to ask me about quantum dating, what it means, how to do it, how to have that conversation with a man, should you tell him, should you not tell him? All right. Lisa, that is a statement. You're not attracted to anyone. I attract what I don't want. Lisa, please turn that sentence around to I'm attracting wonderful men into my life. I attract high quality men into my life. And every day I'm meeting new men I like. Turn that around. Okay, let's see here. Someone says, "What if you say goodbye to the other guys, but then want one back?" Oh, so you have a little, what do they call it? Dating remorse. You let one guy go and you want him back. Um, if he didn't want to go, if he didn't want to leave, I think you could go ahead and have the Hail Mary pass and go ahead and reach out to him and say, "Well, I've had a little time to feel my way through, and I feel like I made the wrong decision. It would feel really good to meet for coffee sometime. What do you think?" Actually, don't say I feel like I've made the wrong decision. Just say it would feel really good to meet for coffee. What do you think? And see if he bites at that, because you're not looking for an instant relationship. That's one of the scariest things to a man is that you go and meet your ex and you're like, "I'm ready to get back together." Just boom, we're just back together. You go back to dating all over again. Okay. Let's see. Um, Someone said law of attraction is so awesome. Tina said, "Where's the best place to meet eligible men?" If you get Fem Tools, it's a very inexpensive program. It's $27. I have a Word document with over 100 places to meet men and practice on men. All right. Shannon said, "I did your ABCs class." Thank you, Shannon. "And I'm still quantum dating a lot, but I'm nervous about reaching back out to the ex. The Hail Mary seems a bit dramatic because we were casual. Any tips?" It's dramatic. Is it too dramatic to just say, you know, to reach out and say, "I miss connecting. Would feel really good to catch up sometime. What do you think?" That would be a great example of a Hail Mary with him. Um, Someone said, "Please explain feminine energy." Okay, Lisa. But before I do that, I'm going to close with that question. Before I do that, Wonderfully Made said, "I'll be in my ex's city this weekend. Should I reach out to him? We haven't been in consistent communication, but I still love him." I think that would be weird if you show up in his city and want to see him. Um, if it's a couple of weeks away and you want to reach out to him now, and this is your Hail Mary, remember, a Hail Mary is only one time. You don't do it over and over and over again. Somebody wrote me the other day and they said, "Oh, I've had multiple Hail Marys with my guy." A Hail Mary happens once. So this will be your one time to see if you can't establish a connection with him again. So you could let him know, "I'm going to be, traveling through your city. It would feel so good to meet for coffee one day. What do you think?" That's all you say. You just put it out there, send it with a kiss, tap, feel that love you have for him in his heart, tap your heart, send him that love, and then you got to let it go. You got to let it go. Now, what is feminine energy? Somebody said, there's so many videos on feminine energy, just watch them. Here's my definition of feminine energy. If you want to know what the Hail Mary is, go visit my website at everheartcoaching.com and check out the ABCs. But also, I have a lot of videos on the Hail Mary pass. Okay. So, what is feminine energy? So, feminine energy and masculine energy is something that both sexes have. Both sexes have it. Men have it, women have it, gay couples have it, everyone has it. And I believe that you will have a better quality relationship with a man if you are in the relationship operating from mostly a feminine energy place. Don't get me wrong. If the house is on fire, I don't want you to sit back and wait for your man to get into his masculine energy to put out the fire. There are times in your life you have to get into your male energy and take care of business. At work, you can be in your boy energy all day long. It's action, making things happen, being in charge. You see, predicting the future. Masculine energy is doing, action, making things happen. Feminine energy is receiving. Receiving. It's not even nurturing. My husband nurtures me way more than I nurture him. If I go to nurture him, he says, buzz off. If he's sick with a cold, he does not want me to nurture him. He wants me to let him be in his cave so he can feel like a man, even though he's sick. You see? Masculine energy, leaning forward, action doing. Feminine energy, receiving. I want you to think about the difference between the female egg and the sperm. So a sperm, masculine energy, it's moving, swimming, chasing. It even beats up other sperm to try to get to the egg. It's all about action, making things happen, pursuing. Meanwhile, what is the egg doing? The egg just sits there, waits, receives, and trusts. And that's what you're doing. You're receiving. That's what you want your energy to be about. We all have a woman in our life, and if you don't, I hope I'm that woman in your life to some regard. We have this woman in our life that doesn't show up with a bunch of expectations on us. Her energy isn't all over us. And a lot of you, it's your grandma, where you can go and just sit and be with her. And she really, really gets you. No matter what you say, she really, really gets you. She nods and listens a lot. She creates space for you. She's not forcing anything on you. She's not pushing. She's not leaning in. Do y'all have that woman in your life? Like your grandma or a good friend? That is what men want. They love being around women. They're out in a very hard world where it's all about who has the fastest car, makes the most money, the biggest muscles, so much competition. They can't show emotions. So one of the reasons they hit up your phone and say, hey, what's up? Is because they're like, please give me a peek into the feminine world. Let me have a little break into that world right now with you. That's what they want. So when you unzip your heart and you give a man feeling statements and you share with him something beautiful that you're experiencing today, for that moment, he's stopping and sniffing the roses with you and he feels good. So that's how feminine energy, masculine energy, that's how it flows. And we love masculine energy. We love it when a man's opening doors for us, taking care of things. We feel protected. The doorbell rings at 2 a.m. and he's up with the baseball bat ready to answer the door. We love it, right? He's out in the backyard chopping down trees, cleaning the yard, fixing the car, taking your car to the car wash. We love it. Making love to you, very masculine energy thing. How men make love to us physically, how we receive in our bodies. We love it. That's masculine, feminine energy exchange at its best. Okay? So I hope this has been very good for all of you. I hope you've walked away with some great information about quantum dating. Please take a moment and click the little thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video and you've learned something new. And as soon as this video ends, if I didn't get to your question, just write it in the comment section. You're so welcome. Thank you for joining. All right, I look forward to us all getting together the next time. And as I said before, if you have any questions left over, something doesn't make sense later on tonight, just write it in the comments section and I'll be sure to answer it. All right, everybody, I'm sending you much love. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for all the sweet things you're saying. Thank you so much. All right, honey. Bye-bye.